Okay, so why can't Square Enix make a proper open world RPG? Uh, it's not like that I'm really expecting, really expecting that Final Fantasy 16 should be open world. Why Ubisoft are they the creators of Assassin's Creed? Why they can make open world RPGs every year, every other year? I'm not sure. I'm not a fan. I don't follow their exact release schedules, but I do play their games sometimes and platinum them. Why can't Square Enix make just decent open world games? Why does Final Fantasy 15 have to be 10 years in the making for an open world game? So their excuse might be for, well, they said, I think, I'm not sure, but I think I heard on the interview didn't want 16 to be open world to reduce development times. But again, why do we have a yearly Assassin's Creed game or every other year? And there's also a lot of Final Fantasy Type Zero style in 16 because there's like dialogue with pre-rendered backgrounds. It's pretty obvious that the backgrounds are pre-rendered and they're just like in a blue screen or green screen, characters just talking. Um, yeah, why? And yeah, so and it's like you click on you play a chapter, and then next chapter, you see the world map. You move the analog stick and you press X to that circle to the next location, and you travel and you hold it and you travel. It doesn't have to be purely open world. It can be it can be every chapter episodic. It can be like that. Why can't it be like the Final Fantasy Type Zero? It's chapter based, I think, if I can remember. It's every chapter a new part of the world opens up, and I think by the end game, a lot of the world map opens up. But I think there's a region that got nuked. So why can't it be like that? Why? Why couldn't they just follow the old action style? Worlds are open. And then you can fly like in an airship. It can work even as an action game. Why can't? Why not? I've seen like Dissidia. I think the the second Dissidia version, the Duodecim, there's like a world map where you can run around, explore, encounter enemies. Why can't it be like that? Why can't they just make the Final Fantasy like Dark Souls or Elden Ring? Dark Souls was not open world but feels like open world. The world is connected. The Elden Ring goes full blown open world. So understand there's like there's the time loops. Well, I think that can be uh, addressed. I think, well, in the first chapters, let's say the first half chapters, there are time jumps, time skips, or time going back in time. Why not make that linear, and then by the later parts of the end game, or the later parts of the end game, the game becomes like sort of open world, and then in the end game, after you finish the story, it's like open world, and they can update new maps, new quests, new story with the DLC. Why can't it be like Witcher? Why can't it be like Final Fantasy 15? Final Fantasy 15 was kind of good, honestly, open world wise. Even though the DLC after a year, I think, the Royal Edition added Insomnia as a open world map. So I think Final Fantasy 15 is overhyped. You know, uh, Maybe it's my fault because I'm just excited to play another really good Final Fantasy game. Final Fantasy games have been really good. Well, until up to 15, it was still kind of good. Even though it was buggy, it was good enough. not great, but I did play the Royal Edition. I platinum the buggy hell day one XV game, but with day one patch fixes and stuff. I platinumed it and then I sold it immediately. But but it was good. It felt like kind of like Elden Ring exploration, open world. You go to dungeons, you unlock new weapons and abilities with a armiger with the old fallen kings tombs. So it was good. There's a lot of exploration. The world doesn't have to be like teeming with content to do and explore. Just the open world feel is good. You can run to the next town or fast travel, or in the story you need to walk to the next town, something like that. I don't know why is it so hard. Well, the good side is at least we get the game early, or not 5 or 10 years. I don't know what's the deal. Why can't they just make games regularly every 2 years, open world games, next big title? I understand the production, but not 10 years. So that's why the episodic chapter based is good for development time. Where was I going? But I can't remember where I was going. I was going to say something. I forgot. Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, the graphics is not mind blowing. I played on my PS5 console. The graphics, I think Elden Ring has better graphics. I don't know. The gameplay is not that great. Probably because it's just early game, but maybe in the end game, if you unlock more abilities, it will get better. But it's not that great. It's not that revolutionary. So what if you can deal out a lot of combos? So what? So I guess maybe it's my fault, or maybe games are just have just reached its peak, and it's just like it's horizontal progression. So I think this is the peak of gaming. There's not much to expect, I guess, gameplay wise or graphically wise. So, well, I know this is what it is. So maybe we'll just have to wait for DLC for Final Fantasy 16 Grand Edition, Your Grace, Open World Edition, Multiplayer, DLC, standalone. So we'll have to look out for that. And well, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. The world is bigger, getting bigger, but still not open world. But I hope that Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth will be like disc 2. So you can, in Final Fantasy 7, so you can access more towns, you can walk around the world map, you go out the world map, you encounter enemies, random battles or not, will you walk around the world map, and you go to the next town. I don't care if it's a small character, and then there's a town there, and you encounters, and you have like random encounters. So anyway, so that's it. What do you guys think? It's not an adventure, so that's the biggest. I think it's chapter based. It's like Devil May Cry. You play a chapter, then you play boss rush. It's not a grand adventure. No exploration. Just the story. The story is great. Don't get me wrong. Sorry, no, it's not great. It's Game of Thrones. Your Grace. They didn't have to follow Your Grace. So it would be like a blatant Game of Thrones copy, and story is not great. The dialogue is great, but the lip syncing is not too great. The characters feel lifeless to me, especially the kid Clive. Kid Clive looks cartoony, but I think old Clive looks better. But so it's me, whatever.